I'm listening to you guys, and you were talking about your combined to write a book together on basically being great dads and a line of defense, right? And then the amazing story you just told there, Daniel, Doug, you're talking about you got to constantly catechize your kid, and you said why? Because of the high speed, diabolical, lies that are coming at them so much, and you've got to do it constantly, okay? And of course, um, I don't have a wife and children, but you know what I have? I have a family of God, and
Mm.
I have to do that too. All right, but I'd love to get your take on this, Daniel. Is why isn't that allowed? That we can't counter the lies of the world with the truths of God. And of course, I'm referring to the brave priests that are out there that are actually doing that. And so many priests, sadly, are cowering. And Doug, you said at one point, you can't just give them the 10 Commandments. You got to tell them this is the right and this is wrong.
Yeah.
This is right. You got to be constantly at them because of, the high speed lies that are coming at them at all the times. Why do you think in our times, Daniel, it's just not allowed? We have to, be nice to everybody. And I don't know. I'd love your take on that.
The devil's terrified of us. And that sounds so weird because he's like way above us. But the devil, he's terrified of a brave Catholic in a state of grace who says, I'm not putting up with this BS anymore.
Right. I gave
Confronting
the
it.
example of the drag queen story down the street, and I went after that. Well, at the time, I was newish in the parish, and letters to the bishop, and how outrageous that you'd go against. You know what I'm saying? You just get
Got to
pulverized.
stop because we can not us. We're nothing compared to the devil, but through God's grace, we're much more powerful than him because the grace of God, the devil is nothing compared to the grace of God. So it's ironic. He's so much more powerful than us, and yet he's the one actually terrified of us. And yet he can only do what God allows him to do. So God, ironically, kind of lets the devil do his will in a weird. I'm not God, of course, never wills evil, but the point script. I can't remember the exact quote from scripture there, but that the devil's actually the leash that God gives him basically enables him to do God's will, uh, God's permissive will by there's always a plan in anything that God even allows the devil to do. So the devil is attacking those who oppose him because he knows that if only those who oppose him keep it up, the devil will lose. The devil's defeat is guaranteed. And those who dare to fight, the devil sees them as big risks. So he does everything he can behind the scenes to get them
To destroy
canceled
them.
and
Yep.
cause them to become despairing and despondent because all he needs to do is get you to give up and become discouraged. That's the word I'm looking for. Jesus told Saint Faustina the greatest obstacle to holiness is actually discouragement. It's not even sin. And that's which sounds weird, but if you sin, don't sin. But if you sin, you can go to confession and get healed of that. But if you get discouraged,
Discourage, lose your courage, discourage. Yeah.
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 so if you're not being opposed at all, if you've never risked cancellation or persecution of any sort, that's because the devil's fine with who you are right now.
Yep.
Mm.
It's not a good sign.
Yeah. Good point.